President Biden called Georgia's election law changes new Jim Crow laws that were antithetical to who we are. They imposed voter identification requirements, limited use of drop boxes, and gave state officials more power over local elections. And then in 2022, Georgia did have record turnout, but you had argued from the podium that there was voter suppression. Does the White House still believe that that was true?
I don't have anything else to add from what I stated last time.
So,
Why?
does the Florida party then effectively canceling the Democratic primary also constitute voter suppression?
I can't speak to that.
Why not?
You have to speak to the campaign or the DNC.
Does the White House have any thoughts on
I can't.
those voters being?
I can't speak to that.
Is it because of the Hatch Act, or?
You're talking about 2024 election, you're talking about a primary, I'm just not going to speak to that from here.
Wow.
Okay, and then can I get the White House's response to Congresswoman Jayapal's comments over the weekend? In her interview, she said sexual violence should be condemned, but that we have to be balanced in our condemnation. Was that an appropriate comment?
Look, so we've been very, very clear. You heard a little bit from Jake Sullivan about this. I can only speak for the president. That's who I can speak for, and we've been clear. What Hamas did is absolutely reprehensible, and full stop. We're going to continue to be clear about that. And when you think about, rape and the use of rape as being used as a weapon, that is also reprehensible, and that's full stop. And I'll just leave it there. And I'm speaking for the President of the United States, so I think I've been very clear on that.
Any comment, though, for Congresswoman Jayapal?
I just commented on it. I just laid out what we believe is unacceptable.
You liar!
Thanks, Karine. I know you said you don't want to negotiate from the podium, but I want to ask you about some reporting we had this weekend about the border talks linking to Ukraine funding on Capitol Hill. One of the factors we're told that has made this so difficult for the Democratic negotiators is the view of Republicans as part of the negotiations that the White House is, in their words, so desperate for this Ukraine funding that they are willing to accept positions on asylum, for instance, that they otherwise would not have put on the table at this point. I'm wondering if you'd respond to that characterization that the White House is so desperate for this Ukraine aid that it's considering immigration changes that would not necessarily pass muster with other Democrats.
I mean, let's be really clear. It's not desperation making sure that we continue to support Ukraine in their fight against tyranny. That is not desperation. That is the right thing to do. That is what we've been doing for almost 2 years now, making sure that Ukraine and the people of Ukraine have what they need, have the security assistance that they need to fight this war that was started, aggressive war that was started by Mr. Putin. There is nothing desperate about that. It is the right thing to do. Now, as it relates to borders, border security, this is the president from day one that has taken this issue very seriously. You've heard me say over and over again, when on this first day in administration, he introduced a comprehensive immigration law, and it's been 3 years.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
And guess what? Congress has failed to act. They have failed to act. And what they continue to do is behave as if, the security of our border, as if it's political football. That's what they have done. The president has made sure that he's used enforcement, deterrence, and diplomacy to deal with this issue. And so, I'll just have to restate this. There is nothing desperate about making sure the people of Ukraine who are under attack by Mr. Putin have what they need to fight for their freedom, to fight for their democracy.
Another question, another issue. Many Jewish Americans this week will begin celebrating Hanukkah, and we've already seen some jurisdictions have had to alter or in some cases cancel what used to be public celebrations of this holiday. Does the White House, does the administration have any evidence or concern about the safety of some of these demonstrations? And I also wonder if you can talk about what the White House's plans are to mark the holiday, and if that's been impacted by the war.
That's a very good question. Obviously, over the past couple of weeks, since this war started,
Of course.
we have seen the increase of anti-Semitism, and we understand the fear that people in the Jewish community must be feeling right now, which is why we have taken action to do everything that we can to make sure that people in that community feel protected. And so that's what we're going to continue to do. I don't have any specifics to lay out as we get closer to the holiday, but obviously we have seen an uptick in anti-Semitism. We have seen an uptick in hate, just more broadly in different communities, obviously, also in the Muslim community. And so we will do everything that we can to make sure that these communities feel safe.
What is the president's message to immigration advocates who, just to follow up on that question, who are worried that the president could give up too much in order to secure aid to Ukraine?
So I'm just not going to get into hypotheticals from here. I'm just not going to. That's basically laying out what we agree with or don't agree with whatever's being discussed on the other side
Do you speak any English?
of Pennsylvania. What I will be really clear about, this is a president that has taken this very seriously, who wants to, when he's moved forward in his immigration policies, he's tried to do this in a humane way and make sure that our borders are protected, make sure that Americans are protected. And so that's the way that he's moved forward in the past almost 3 years dealing with this issue.